everyone, welcome back. My name is Shelly, and my Shelly's hot topic today is, that always sounds so silly to me. I don't know why. Like, oh, hot topic. Anyway, my topic today I wanted to talk about is telling our adult autistic children things they don't want to hear, but they need to hear, right? So I have a daughter, 26 years old, and she lives 5 blocks away. She lives on her own. She is autistic. And, I find that autistic kids, you tell them something they don't want to hear. A lot of times it's, I don't want to hear it right now. It's, it's this, it's, and everything in between. Like, and sometimes they'll just yes you to death, right? And then they continue doing whatever it is, don't do that or whatever the issue. And I struggle with this one because my daughter is so sweet. She's not, my older daughter, she'll come at you like a piranha. Like, you better watch it. Like, she'll come at you like, My younger daughter is literally like a little kitten, like sweet, talk about both ends of the spectrum. I got them, right? I got my older daughter. Man, you don't want to mess with that little firecracker. She will, don't mess with her. My younger daughter is just as sweet as can be, right? She wouldn't hurt a fly. I think she'd shoo a fly out of the house. She wouldn't kill it, really. So it's very hard to tell my younger daughter anything she doesn't want to hear. Like, listen, you spent too much money on this, or you shouldn't do that, or make sure you get this done, or you've got to fill those papers out, or you have a doctor's visit. I brought my daughter for example, I gave her a planner, and I wrote some appointments that she had coming up in that planner. I don't think she ever picked that thing up again. I don't think she ever picked it up again. And I'm trying to impress upon her the urgency of, like, listen, you really have to do this. You have to, know your appointments. Where are you going? What's the address? What calls do you have to make? Someday I'm not going to be here, right? I'm going to be gone. And, the other side to that is I have a friend, and her son is like, he knows addresses. Where are we going? Here's the appointments, Mom. He lives at home with her. But he's just like, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. Here's the address. Here's what time, and he's, just like that. And that's how it is, every autistic journey is different, right? I find anyway, no two autistic kids are alike. They all have their own special little things that they excel at, and they have other things that maybe not so much, where they need that little push, hey, do this, do that. And kind of everything in between. And those conversations that you just don't want to have with them, it's hard, right? You have to tell them, you're not doing this the way you should be doing it, or, and I don't mean like, they have their own style. They can wear what they want, do your hair the way you want, but there's certain things that they have to do. Like, you have to stay on top of your medications. You have to, where is your medications coming from? What's the phone number? And my daughter's pretty good with some things. But there are some autistic kids, you say, hey, don't stay on your game all night. This is not my daughter, but this is someone else I know. Don't sit on that gaming console all night, right? You got to get up in the morning and, whatever, go do something, volunteer, whatever you're doing. Okay. All night long, they sit on that game. I know another autistic boy, his mom told me that he has no concept of time. She has to tell him, okay, we're leaving in an hour, we're leaving in 45 minutes, we're leaving in 30 minutes. And when she goes in, he's still not ready to go. Oh, okay, I'll put my shoes on. Like, I've been telling you for an hour. So, some kids need pushes in different ways, but there are some things that are really important, right? For me, my daughter has to be ready for the day I'm not here. Like I said in a previous video, she does have a good support system. She has friends. She has 2 older sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles and that kind of thing. And my niece and nephew love her very much. They love their aunt. And I always, my grandson, he's going to be 13 soon. And I'm always like, make sure you take care of your aunt, make sure. you know, and he's got such a big, beautiful heart. I know he will. Like my granddaughter, ooh, she's a little spitfire like her mom. she'll always be there for her aunt as well. But my grandson, he's got that little he's Cancer. He's got that little soft side going on. My granddaughter, don't she could be a little ball of fire. Uh, it's just crazy. But when we have to have these conversations with our adult autistic children, it's so hard, right? Like, how do you guys navigate that? For me, with my daughter, I have to sometimes, I dance around it and I shouldn't. I know I need to go right in and just be direct. Like, this is what you need to do. Now I do ultimately get there like, hey, this is what has to be done. And I do ultimately get there. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it right now. And leave me alone. And, you know, and she'll do that a couple times in a row. So I'm like, no, listen, this isn't going to work. We got to talk this out, right? We have to have this conversation. Whether you want to have it or not, whether we do it today, tomorrow, next week, we have to have this conversation. You know, and I see that. I see that, you know, that it's so hard, right? And I find with my daughter being direct, too direct, you lose her. You'll shut her down. You raise your voice or you push too hard, she's gone. You're not going to get no place with her. But if you're wishy-washy, you're not going to get anywhere either. So it's kind of like a fine line. It's a real tightrope I have to walk. If I'm too aggressive with her, she's shutting down. I'm not going to get anywhere with her. And yet if I'm too wishy-washy, okay, whenever you're ready, I'm not getting anywhere with her either. So it's kind of like a middle ground. Like, I don't know if you guys go through that, you know, what is your approach with your kids? You know, I try to write notes for my daughter and you know, I guess just help her along. It's real hard. It's a real tough situation. And I do find that, like I said, with my kid, you gotta be real careful. Even some of my other kids in the group that I used to be in, I'm no longer with that group, but I did another video on that. If you you can't raise your voice, like even if you're just excited, you know, sometimes you just get passionate about something and they think you're angry. They're shutting down. They're like, you've lost them. And then there's other kids where you have to be like, hey, listen to me. You kind of have to bring those octaves up a little, or they don't listen that way either. So yeah, it's really hard. I'm wondering, what do you guys do? Do you have adult autistic kids? I mean, how do you manage that? Do you have to be the firmer, louder one, or does it have to be kind of softer? And you know, I have to be like right in the middle. Isn't that my luck, right? That's my luck. I gotta be like right in the middle. In any case, it's a tightrope. Autistic parents, we're always on a tightrope anyway, right? Whether it's dealing with doctors and therapists, and later on, some people, not all people, but some people, you're dealing with group homes, and some of these group homes, not so much, right? They're not great. Like, we don't want no part of that. But in any case, so let me know what you guys go through. Like, how do you approach those things that they just don't want to hear? Whether it's about money, you know, boys, girls, cleaning, laundry, whatever that topic is. How do you guys approach that? And yeah, I'd be curious to hear if, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe your little push would maybe be better for my baby too. So anyway, that's my hot topic of the day. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.